Hello, today is June 24th and I have another update today. I started writing at 6 a.m. and I fell asleep at 9 a.m., slept until 12 p.m., and 12 p.m. to 2 or 3 p.m., or even 4 p.m. I was writing, and so I have this video of a dev test, and let's start it. At this time I'm going to mute the audio. The video quality may not be perfect because it's a video of a video. So here I'm standing in front of a no entry model that I tied to an entity called a vaporizer. I was trying to get it to be like a force field so the aliens could shoot it, and so that when the power node goes down, that's the only time the chair can be hurt. But I didn't get there yet. You're going to see I'm standing next to Armory and a built. That's another change. I changed the build concept, so instead of requiring to press E to build something, you could instead just stand by it. So I removed the build concept. You just have to stand by the entity and it will build. And let's see, just watching this video trying to commentate. I increased the egg amount for aliens to be, I think, 8 globally. And if I'm brainstorming here, maybe do something about whips, because when they spawn with assist, they're kind of useless when they're tiny being built. These gorges have aimbot with spit, man. I'm not going to skip the video this time. I made so the rules for constructing something now, it requires power and requires to be in the airlock radius. If you remember yesterday, the airlock is now defined as a marine in a room that is powered. So the marine can stand by 4 different structures in a small range and build it just by standing near it. So that allows them to just defend it rather than to be defenseless while building. And there's also multiplier for the more marines standing near it, the faster it builds, and it stacks with max welding and it stacks with the welder. Getting low grav with Catpack is extremely fun. The payload is also extremely fun. So today I also modified the waypoint system so that it prioritizes sending a defense waypoint to the payload. This way you'll see bots always go to the payload, and it's pretty cool seeing everyone push the payload. See, here's the defense marker, you got the bots moving towards it. And the aliens, everywhere you go, you're going to see aliens. And in this build, they all spawn as gorge because of the auto-evolving egg starts at gorge egg, and it doesn't have a chance to finish by the time they spawn. The design goal for the auto-evolving eggs was to correspond as gorge, lurk, fade, onos just by spawning, but in this iteration, it only spawns gorges because so much action is going on that there's not enough time to process the evolving time of each evolution for the egg from lurk to onos. And so yeah, this changes everything here. So yesterday I was talking about what I mean by so it changes everything here is because yesterday I was talking about control point concept, where if you stay in the room it builds entities in there. So I tried that at first. So once you go in the room, it builds any entity in the room as a marine. But that wasn't fun because you're like 20 feet away from it and it's building. So that's why I had it so in this iteration you stand by it. And yeah, right there, the whips that spawn unbuilt. I'm not sure what to do about those, but they're always vulnerable. And this is a 15-minute gameplay video. I recorded a lot of gameplays today because I was having a lot of fun. I also did something else where, oh, another update for the changelog. I added the crag hive, shift hive, shade hive, and even the representing upgrade chambers for them. So 3 veils, 3 spurs, and 3 shells, so you can get all your full upgrades. That was big. Aliens need their upgrades in order to play. Then when you stand by in this build, when you stand by as a structure to build as a marine, it doesn't turn the extractor into a non-blueprint. That's something I forgot to toggle off. There's a prototype lab placed here. I think that's new in this build. I placed prototype lab placements. Oh, also new in this build is Sentry Avoca. So I took the sentry rules from Siege, which is inaccurate sentries such as the Hydra, whereas alien could circle around the sentry and avoid getting hit just by continuously confusing it, I guess you could say. Although there's the default rules of confusion are in there, such as putting spores on there or spitting it, I think. I don't know how balanced that is, but I made it so it doesn't require the sentry battery. And I also put that as a game start entity spawn, so 4 sentries on the spawn. And then I don't remember the radius. I tried to do some fancy radius based on the amount of sentries in range for when they're dropped. So far, I only seen like 1 or 2 scattered sentries dropped with the airlock and Imaginator. But sometimes what was I gonna say? Sometimes I see 3 armories close by, and that's not intended. 3 armories close by in a small radius, that's not intended. But it's also not a bad idea because armory walls is a popular strategy. Still haven't implemented taking team resources. Oh, I think yesterday I made it so health packs don't spawn if there's 4 more in range, so that way you don't have to exploit and get 900, although there's a timer on each med pack that auto deletes. So what I'm doing here is just obviously defending the arc, pretending that if this was filled with players, they would be more smart than bots. But also, if the server was filled with players, they would also rage quit at the first line of loss. So bots aren't a bad thing. I'm just trying to go my memory if there's anything else I changed. I'm sure there is. I did a lot today. I just don't remember yet. It's a lot of information to process. These videos help to document it. So the arc was interesting on this one. It went from elevator transfer the long way back to marine start instead of going from elevator transfer straight to hub. I thought that was interesting. And look, this part was pretty cool. The lights changing here all cinematically in perfect timing. I was proud of that. You may not be able to see it on the best video quality that this video is. I mean, this video looks like it's low quality video, but you can see the lights changing colors, and it's pretty cool to be playing and have the room changing colors. So it's kind of like Killing Floor 2, whereas the room you're in is always the relevant room, and so that's where the action is. I'm having design troubles trying to get all of the map used because there seems to be a lot of unused map territory when you just go straight for hives. And in these bots, the waypoint system I have them set to are telling them not to go to marine base. So that's kind of wonky because the NS2 design concept, usually you rush each other's bases, whereas the TF2 payload design is more of a time concept. So is NS2 Siege is a time concept. So I'm thinking maybe not have Marines lose the traditional way, such as losing infantry portal command station. Maybe have a way to end the game, such as Marine or aliens defended their time long enough, or something similar to that. Which wouldn't be too difficult to do because in Siege I already have the GUI insight timer on the top, and I could even implement a dynamic timer portion. And it sounds like a good idea to try. Maybe I have to wait for Monday on this because on the weekend I may be busy. And then I'm gone all of July, so that's why I'm updating as much as I can. It's also nice to see the exos eject fast. And this is getting close to the end of the video where the arc goes towards the second hive because I think I got dissatisfied with a few of the things I have been mentioning, such as the aliens are all gorgeous and there's a lot of unused territory on the map, and there's a lot of unknowing territory in terms of how our aliens going to win if I want the chair to be invulnerable. Probably have it be time-based, have aliens defend, have Marines payload the arc, or something similar to that. I was thinking too having breakable doors, but I don't want to have to edit maps and add them, and it may be tricky to have a formula to add them automatically, but who knows. I was pretty excited to get the vaporizer entity working because that's a script actor that's using a scaled model. I wasn't sure if I should use a scaled model or if I should use a location or a trigger and just have the render to trigger, because I chose to do the entity script actor and set the model because I was hoping to get bullets and biobomb to trigger on this force field. For some reason only Marines are able to walk through it, or not able to walk through it, but they're able to shoot through it, which is strange to me. I was having the idea of make it so like a force field that's destroyable by aliens, but maybe just have a time-based payload concept where Marines have the siege timer, except in this concept the Marines push the payload and aliens defend, maybe. But also that's why I was thinking of making the vaporizer entity, make it so that arc, because I didn't like how arcs, when you phase gate into the arc, you could die instantly as a Marine. I kind of like having a little spawn protection, but then spawn protection seems a little overpowered in this instance, so I'm not sure what I could offer. But the gameplay is fun, even though as I keep saying, that it's not the typical win-lose concept of NS2, where once you start losing, you concede, or you do the same strategy over and over. I don't know about the last part, doing the same strategy over and over actually, but I figure maybe in July, if I continue this, I can in July think of how to time the upgrades over time to have it rather than everything unlock. Right now I have all the upgrades for aliens and Marines unlock pretty fast, like average 5 to 8 minute mark. You have weapons 3 and stomp and biomass 9. If I really want to iron this out, maybe just brainstorming, I could have it so you only lose as a Marine if you don't push the payload within X amount of time, so that way it merges siege and payload. And then that seems good about that. But then I also, when I listen back to this, I'm probably gonna go, I lost my train of thought, but so I'm gonna switch the topic to extractors and harvesters. So aliens, the reason why I enabled auto evolve is because the harvester's mount is quite low, and I'm not sure of a creative way to allow aliens to be, such as siege, all upgrades dying without consequence to an extent, because I like being able to have all upgrades and play what you want and not have to be like NS2 where you gotta never have a chance to play the full upgrades 80% of the time. I'm gonna end the video soon here. I'm not commentating because when I listen back to it, the video of shooting bullets is too loud, and listening back to these changelog videos helps create inspiration to block the block that is creative writing block. Or unblock creative writing block, whatever. I think the video's done here. So thank you for watching. And come back maybe Monday for next update.